Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joseph Novichkov, Senior Trading Manager with GDM. Today's session outlook for the first day of the week. We're going to take a look at mostly the fundamentals and of course our majors that we're usually focusing on. As we see, the day is mostly off with the US markets, and we can see that today is the President's Day. Therefore, the volatility could be slightly down as usual. However, as we can see here from the chart, the euro versus the dollar is attempting to break the 50 exponential moving average, aiming for the 200 exponential, and it's stuck in a tight range. Also, if we should focus on the rest of the majors, having a look at the British pound versus the US dollar as well, with the lack of any major fundamentals today, the technical trading would prevail. And as you can see, the 200 exponential is now trying for a breakout above the current 1.2470 area, from where, with a confirmation, we could see further upside. Also focusing on the US dollar versus the Japanese yen ahead of this week's key fundamentals tomorrow for the economy of Japan, and also for the rest of the week for the US economy. We are still tracking the pair and its movement towards the 50 exponential moving average. With a break above the 50 and the 200, we can expect further upside. With a failure, of course, we can see downside below 113 towards 112.76, 112.65 as well. Also focusing on commodities, we can track gold prices relatively steady for the day after the downward direction towards 1230. We can see that it's breaking right now the 50 exponential moving average, and it could still try for further gains. However, the lack of any major fundamentals, as we mentioned earlier, and of course the possible trend here at that key area at 1235 could see some stuck in the range between the 200 and the 50 exponential for the near term. Also, oil prices were relatively steady earlier today, but we can see that it's now trying to for further gains above the 53.70 area, which is a key resistance area for further gains. So we're going to closely track this commodity, and we'll of course update you further down the road if there is something significant for you, and of course if we can see further gains towards the 54 area and the 55 as well. Focusing on the major economics during the week, we can see that today, however, we can see some consumer confidence for the Eurozone, and of course during the day we have the ECOFIN meeting, which of course could find further direction for the euro versus the dollar. During the rest of the week, we're still tracking the euro versus the dollar, as there are major fundamentals tomorrow. We're expecting the market services PMI and of course the PMI composite, which is of course a major data for further direction of the pair. Also on Wednesday, we're expecting some gross domestic product for the actual gross domestic product year on year, quarter on quarter for the British economy. This would be the key direction earlier throughout the week for the British pound versus the dollar. Also, we have on Wednesday consumer price index coming out for the Eurozone. So mostly for the first day of the week, we're going to focus on the euro versus the dollar and the British pound versus the dollar for the clues on any direction. Also on Wednesday, some key fundamentals coming out from the Federal Open Market Committee minutes. We're going to be closely looking at this meeting as to further clues for the next timing of the Fed interest rate hike. And of course, for Thursday, the usual data that is coming out, so the initial and continuing jobless claims for the US, as well as the Energy Information Administration is going to be publishing the crude oil stockpiles report. Also something that it's going to come out is the gross domestic product for Germany, which is key data. That's the actual report year-on-year, quarter-on-quarter for the country, and of course this is a key fundamental data for the euro versus dollar. So basically, what we see from Monday throughout the whole week, we're going to be focusing mostly on the euro versus the dollar, the British pound versus the dollar, as well as gold prices, which are of course very sensitive to interest rate hikes. And this will be a clue on Wednesday during the Federal Open Market Committee's meeting. So that's all for today. We will keep you on track of any key data that is coming out and the future possible direction of our key tracking of currencies and commodities. That's all for today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.